Suddenly, I looked up to my right and I saw this boulder, the size of a car. It came falling from on top and straight onto the groups. I was ready to die. Honestly, I was ready to die. I was bleeding profusely and my helmet was cut in half. The story of what actually happened. So, I was in group 2. Group 1 actually had started their Via Fetra activity already. So they were up in front. Then group 2, my group was here together with him. And group 3 was at the starting area of the Via Fetra, getting their calipers attached to the rope. And group 4, group 5, they were at the staircase area. So all of us were happy, teasing each other to move on faster because it's a teamwork activity. So it was all okay until we heard a loud roar. This roar sounded like thunder. So I looked up, hey, it's not raining, there's no dark clouds. Suddenly, I looked up to my right and I saw this boulder, the size of a car. It came falling from on top and straight onto the groups which were at the starting area of the Via Fetra activity. After that, everyone froze for a second and we saw rocks, small rocks, but these were in the hundreds. They came tumbling from the top onto our group. You know, Via Fetra is quite steep. It's a slope, and these rocks were falling onto us at very sharp speeds. And this was sharp and big, and in the hundreds. One teacher, I think Madam Uzaima, she shouted, "Get down!" So I go down. I lie down straight. The rocks started to hit me. Luckily, I was wearing a bag behind, so I did get a bit of cover to protect my back. So I looked down, I looked back down, and I started to pray. I was ready to die. Honestly, I was ready to die. I even said my declaration of faith in Islam. And I prayed for God to help me. I looked down, I looked left, I looked right. My vision was starting to get a bit dusty, so I couldn't really see what actually happened to my friends on my right. Then rocks kept hitting my back. I think there was one rock that hit my helmet. Then a tap. I heard the sound tap, but I didn't know what actually happened. So after 30 seconds, the rocks stopped hitting us. Then a guide from the starting area, with the Fetra activity, he used our rope and rappelled sideways towards me. And he checked whether I was still alive. He patted my back. You okay? You okay? Then I didn't know what to do. Eventually, he cut my rope and told me to carefully, slowly use the rope and rappel sideways to the starting area of the Via Fetra activity. So I did that, and along the way, what I saw was some bodies. They were already downstairs. So I guess the rocks were sharp enough that they had actually cut the ropes off. It was a bloodbath. My vision was dusty, it was all dusty, blurry. So I couldn't really see what actually happened to the others. But I knew there were colours everywhere, colours of jackets everywhere, all over the floor. So afterwards, I went to the staircase beside the Via Fetra activity, so I went down and looked for help. Then afterwards, I met a couple of my friends, survivors, who were at the pendant hut. We were attended to by a Via Fetra, I think a guide. He went up to me, took out my helmet, he went to look behind, and he said this, "Astaghfirullah," yeah, because he saw that I was bleeding profusely, and my helmet was cut in half. So he then bandaged my helmet. Then afterwards, I think it were 2 to 3 guides, and I regrouped with another 3 other survivors, Izati, Ashley, Wafik. And then the guides made the decisive plan to hike down, because the tremors were still kicking in. There were waves of tremors after that first 5.9 magnitude. So we hiked down and we waited for a helicopter first. I think it was a makeshift helipad. We waited for a couple of hours. I think during that time we were all vomiting already. I don't know why. The helicopter didn't come because it was very foggy back then. So I think it would be a bit dangerous for the helicopter to land there. We had no resources, no water. Our bottles were empty. So the guides then decided to hike down the whole 8 kilometers back to Timpohon Gate. And we did that. Along the way, we were in so much pain. I had a bleeding head, sprained bones, cuts all over my body. I still remember I had cuts here. My hands were bloody. Then my friend Wafik, he already had fractured his collarbone, so he was pushing through it all. And the terrain downstairs, it was entirely destroyed because of the earthquake. And it was all covered with sharp rocks. I think landslide already started to form out, washed everything, all the railings down. So there were no safety measures, all gone. So there was this one point where the pathway was destroyed, like half of the staircase was gone. One misstep and you could really fall onto your death. At the 4th kilometer mark, I think just below Layang, my friend Al-Wafiq, he fainted because of pain. The pain was, I could see it in his eyes, he couldn't tahan anymore. The guide carried him all the way. We pushed through everything, we slid down the whole way. We could not walk. Sliding down on top, sharp rocks, our bags were hurting. And I think at the 2nd kilometer mark, we met up with a couple of rangers and they provided us resources like water and food. That's when we knew we were a bit safe. The tremors were still kicking in, but we could feel a sigh of relief. Then at Timpohon Gate, that was when we knew, wow, we are finally safe.